There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to...
Taylor's going to finish it!
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught it! Oh, what a...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast, part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. We are here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts Cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo.
Yo, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and ring that bell with the subscribe button. If you're feeling really generous, you can give us a like, comment below. We love interacting with you all. That's the best way to support us. And guys, it's completely free. All that is completely free. Jamal, how was the combine yesterday?
Man, it was fun. Oh man, it was a hefty turnout. People too. I was surprised at how long people stayed. I was there from about I think about 12 to 6:30, I think it was. So they started it was a long day, yeah. And I was surprised at the amount of people who showed up and stayed. But it was fun. Great experience. Looking forward to going to it in the future. Of course, this year definitely weighs a little heavier because we are in the number 4 spot. So I think that kind of, played with the turnout a little bit as well. People had a reason to be there. But there were a lot of other jerseys supporting out there. So I can't knock it. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the combine is basically concluded, at least for Colts fans. We know what we were out there looking for yesterday. We got running backs and offensive linemen still going today. But boy, did we get a closer look at these quarterbacks inside Lucas Oil Stadium.
Did we?
It was great. Jamal, who should we start out with? Because we got a lot to talk about, and it's been phenomenal for a few quarterbacks. Who we starting out with?
We got to start with the man of the hour. And I ain't gonna lie to anybody in Colts Nation. If you would have said to me that I would be about to go down this rabbit hole that I'm about to with this quarterback, I would have laughed.
I already know who it is. I already know who it is because you were a doubter.
I was, and then I saw someone who wasn't a human step onto the field.
Anthony Richardson.
Yes, we got to talk about him. But full disclaimer before we talk about him, guys. I know every quarterback out there was throwing against air. I know that. So I don't want to hear about how, it's against air. I know that. However, you had a chance to showcase skills. Yeah, you had a chance to showcase skills. So, like I said, we got to talk about a robot because he ain't human. That's a big dude. You look at these people on TV and you watch film and all that, and it's from this, high up projected angle. They all look relatively the same. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, I saw Will Levis because he was out there throwing first, and I was like, dang, Will Levis is huge. He's a big guy. Then when the second round of quarterbacks and CJ and Anthony Richardson came out, I said, this don't make no sense.
Are we talking about the most athletic quarterback in combine history?
100%.
Gotta be, right?
100%.
Where do we start with this freak nature?
We got to start with the 40. We got to start with the 40-yard dash, man.
4.43, right?
4.43 official. Yeah, didn't even run a second one. My man did a first one. And it was funny because I was waiting for him to run the second one. Everyone's sitting there watching. He's just waiting for him to run the second one. And then he just gets he starts cheesing. He gets a little Kool-Aid smile on his face. And they hadn't posted his time up top yet. And I was like, all right, well, he must have done all right for himself. He's smiling like this. Then my man was just like grinning from ear to ear. And I was like, I got to know. Then they posted it on there.
He knew.
Everybody went wild. Yeah.
4.43. I mean, that's top 5.
Yeah,
I think for quarterback history.
I think RG3 beat him, and then maybe one. Who else? Other quarterback?
Yeah, RG3 was incredibly fast.
Yeah,
and I think he only got it by 2/100ths of a second.
Yeah, 4.41 or something like that. Yeah,
but he's faster than Justin Fields, at least in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah,
that's crazy. What is he? 6'4", 6'5"? 240 pounds?
Dog, 244 pounds. You're going to put that extra weight on there for him.
Dog. Running a 4.43. You Anthony Richardson doubters, you guys really think someone's not going to take a chance on him in the top 4? No, I think this is exactly like you got to bet on traits
Yeah.
if you really
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
Like athleticism is off the charts. There's no way he's slipping past the fourth overall, in my opinion,
Yeah. No,
just
I don't
because of
think
that.
so. I don't think. I mean, you're talking about 40.5-inch vertical, highest quarterback. Dude
Ever,
can jump through the ceiling. I mean, that
ever.
is it's crazy.
I mean, we won't need him to really jump, but
Right.
it shows his explosive ability.
Yeah.
Like when he's gonna have to take off and run.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing.
Highest, you said broad jump and vertical
Yeah.
in combine history.
Yeah. I mean,
At quarterback.
it's dog. Dude's a freak
They
of
might
nature.
line that man up in the slot. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like this man he might play
Yeah.
some defensive snaps. Like,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. I mean, he was a detention grabber. Like even the other quarterbacks were still throwing. The first group was still throwing, but when they were out, when second group was out there doing, their broad jumps and their verts and all that. And I was watching him do that stuff versus watching some of the throws that were going on because I saw what I needed to see with the first round. But man, it was just fascinating just watching him. He's infatuated, just sitting there. This dude was just getting it, drill after drill. I mean, even when he's stretching by himself, just explosive techniques he had from stretching by himself. You can see when you see an athlete, like that, it reminded me so much of just watching these sprinters who are about to run the 100 meters get ready. You can just the way they move, the way how fast their hips move, how fast their legs move. That's what it was just watching. It looked like someone who was about to run like a 100 meter in the Olympics. That's how he warmed up. And I mean, he took off. And you know what I want to say to everybody too? I don't know if y'all watched the video, but he veered to the left when he was running that 40. Had he stayed
Really?
straight, he would have
I didn't even
100%.
notice that.
Oh yeah, he veered left. Probably. I mean, I can't say how far, but he was close to hitting the sensor. So if he would have stayed running straight, I think we would have knocked that down at least another hundredth, because he was going straight and then he just started veering to the left and corrected it at the
Huh.
very end. Yeah. So I think that he's actually faster, which is why I was hoping he would
Oh
have run
my
a second
goodness.
one because
Yeah.
I think it would have been quicker.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, someone is gonna take that talent and mold him.
Yeah.
There's no way. And yeah, I don't know. Chris Ballard might. You know how Chris Ballard he views athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know that raw score that he's always drafting players that's got a very high raw score. It I don't know, man. He looked incredible. I think his stock rised. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really good that he participated in basically all those drills.
Mm-hmm.
I think we haven't even touched on his deep ball.
Yeah.
I saw the deep ball accuracy. I saw the effortless throws. I Jamal, you saw it in action. Let me know what it looked like.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you. So first off, going back to what you just said about his stock rising, and he did the right thing by being at every drill they allowed him to. His confidence, dog, was next level. Like you could tell he was feeling himself in a good way. You know what I mean? Like he was there to put on a show, and that's exactly what he did. So he had the right mindset. I personally felt like he walked in that building saying to himself, I know I'm the best one out here. And I'm not saying that he is the best one. I'm saying that he had that
Right.
mindset of I'm the best.
That
And that's why,
mentality.
that mentality. He had that killer instinct in him. And I think that's why he excelled so much. And jumping right into the deep ball, I mean, dog, his ball speed was crazy. The effortlessness for throwing these bombs is so hard to again explain to people. But his hands were 10 and
Huge.
5/8. Yeah, something big. So they're throwing the NFL ball to him, and he's catching it like a baseball. Like he didn't have two hands up to catch it. Every time they threw a ball to him, he just palmed it like that. He just caught out the air, palmed it, and then cocked back and threw. Again, I tell y'all, minimal, and this is a downfall for him, but it's something that can be corrected. That's why I want to talk about it. Mechanics, minimal use of his legs. He did not use his legs for any single throw. There was no fall through with his legs. His hips were used, but barely. This dude was slinging that rock with his shoulder and his core. That was it. I say that because some people were talking. A couple of his throws were a little over. He didn't really have any short throws. If anything, he was overthrowing, or giving a high ball. You correct that footwork. You introduce the hips. The rest takes care of itself, and
It's a
it
wrap.
was made clear. I mean, dog, some of and the crazy thing is the receivers were running, but they weren't running full speed, or at least it didn't look like they were running full speed. And he was still, I mean, he would wait until they probably got 15 yards or so away before he would just loft it out there. He didn't gun his thing. He lofted it out there, and it just coasted in the air, just hung out there for a couple seconds, and he could still get it there with zero effort. So I could imagine if he needed to send a dart out there, it will be effortless for him, just completely effortless.
So he can put that touch on the ball
He
to
can.
give it the good enough loft, but
Hmm.
also zip it down there, right it, out of the defender's reach.
Hmm.
Oh man.
And what I like most about that, I ain't gonna lie to you, with him having that strength, without using his hips, without using his feet, that means if a defender's in his face, or he's already taller than him anyway, but if they are in his face, you don't have to worry about that ball being short because he don't need his hips or his feet to get it out there. So you don't have to, he's still gonna be able to get it out there just as well, even if he's throwing off his back leg. I again, because he didn't have any fall through with his feet at all. So I like to think that it's just a flick of the wrist, a legit flick of the wrist for him, which is scary.
Yeah. No, I mean AR-15, I think balled out, stock
Yeah.
rose.
Yeah.
It's there. I if someone takes a chance with him, like at number 2, number 1,
Mhm.
I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah.
Look, did do we feel like Bryce Young's stock went down just because he only measured in? I mean, he measured at 5'10", eighth of an inch, so he's right there with Kyler Murray's height. 204 pounds. He put on a little weight.
Mhm.
Don't know if that was water weight, what it was, but he measured in at over 200. He's got the hand size. It's decent, 9 and 3/4. That, like I said, I tweeted the other day, it's bigger than like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. So I mean that shouldn't be an issue. So him not throwing, not participating in drills. I heard he interviewed very well.
Mhm.
Football IQ is supposedly off the charts, the way he can dissect defenses. Do you think his stock went down not participating, or you think he's safe?
I I gotta say I think he's safe just because of what you just said right there. I think that when you think of Bryce, he is that book smart guy, that textbook guy who's gonna bring what he needs to the table. He's gonna sell you. He could be a salesman because he's gonna sell himself to you based off of what he's gonna bring you to the table. He doesn't have to physically show you. So I think that's the reason why it's gonna say for him, which and if for him, it may have worked out in his favor. You would hate to get out there and have a bad day. I know that's not indicative of your career, but when you want to be number one and you're kind of sitting at that pedestal right there, why set yourself up for potential failure? I
Yeah.
mean, he
No, 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 no. You're right, because I feel like I think I agree. I think he's safe. You know, what was the broad jump of Bryce Young gonna tell us? Like,
right.
we don't really need to see that. So it's probably good he didn't participate. DraftKings still has him as the favorite at -205 for the number
Oof.
1 draft pick. Clear, clear favorite still. And, you know, I'm not saying I would take that bet, but he's the front runner right now. So
Yeah, he is the front runner, and it's like you said. I don't know if I will take it, but you know what? I will take though. We're gonna give a shout out to DraftKings. I'm gonna tell you about some NBA bets I took today. So NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all and new existing customers can get a no sweat same game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place the same game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back. So, Eric, I got to tell you, KD's been doing this thing for Phoenix. So I don't have him today, but I got Devin Booker and Luca, and a little parlay, both scoring 35 points apiece. So
woo.
I know it's a lot, but Booker's been balling. So I think it's going to give put good payout for me.
Oh yeah. That should be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. But download the app now and sign up with code TPPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, with code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson is sitting there at plus 300 as
Mm,
well. He was plus 10,000, I think, before the season ended.
just crazy.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about stock rising, if that's not a clear indicator, what Vegas tells us, then I don't know what else is. But yeah, Bryce Young probably safe, measured in. I don't know how they listed him at 6 foot. That's crazy, but yeah,
Man, 5'10".
yeah, he's
Yeah.
5'10". But look, I'm gonna have a favorite quarterback in a few weeks. I think I'm gonna aim for end of March, but
Fair.
if I had to pick one today, I don't know, Bryce Young. I don't know. Let's get into CJ Stroud,
All right,
boy.
let's get it. Let's get it.
Oh my God, this is awesome. This is
I
awesome.
know, and this was exciting too, man. And you know what? So CJ Stroud, as everyone knows, I mean, we're close to Ohio State, so well, I should say we're close to Ohio State, whatever. So the crowd was going crazy for CJ. You know, it was 100% bias, 100% bias. They grew on to AR after start seeing him do his thing, but CJ could have bent down to tie his shoe, and people would have lost their minds. So they were obsessed with him. You know, he didn't run a 40. You know, I guess in his mind, he didn't have anything to prove with that. I'm not going to knock it, you know,
Yeah.
don't do what you got to do. But overall, I mean, he had a good day. He had a good day. I think the hardest thing for him that I remember was his deep ball. Though that deep ball was not too consistent. I saw some overthrown, some underthrown. One was thrown out of bounds. You know, just barely. But there was some inconsistencies with that, and it was more effort he put into it. But with that being said, I gotta also say that I think he came in with the less of a proof attitude. You know, he's there. It's another day in the office for him. He again, when I say that, like, against say Anthony Richardson, how Anthony Richardson came in with like confident. I have to put on the best show, you know, for myself. Versus CJ, I think this is more of a I'm here. I know who I am. I'm gonna get out here and do my thing, you know. But he wasn't trying to show out the way I think Anthony Richardson was, in my opinion.
So I heard he had a phenomenal day.
He did. I've talked
You
about
said
his deep
good.
balls.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Look. Yo, Daniel Jeremiah, he's a former NFL scout, podcast host of Move the Sticks. He said CJ Stroud is having one of the best throwing sessions he's ever seen at the combine. So when I was looking at, you know, videos and clips, I mean, I felt like this can't be overlooked. It looked like he was pinpoint from what I saw. Now, was that only the highlights I saw? It seems like you saw some
well,
bad throws.
Well, that, and like I said, that was on the deep ball. Now I forgot which route it is, but it's like one of the hardest routes, you know, that the receivers do run. He was pinpoint on those. Like his mid to or his intermediate stuff was phenomenal. Yeah, it was good. And I'm not saying that his deep balls are indicative of his entire thing. I just wanted to point out that there were a couple that were over, a couple that were under, one out of bounds. So, but yeah, no,
they didn't show that.
Yeah, of course not. But no, yeah, his mid-range game was phenomenal. I mean, I think that he was spot on with everything that he did. So I'm not going to take that away from him. But I do think that he had an overall really good day. I wish that they could have had even more drills, or even more throws. I think it would have been fun to see. But CJ, he looked good. To me, he looked like what I expected, what I wanted, as when we talked about our quarterbacks in a couple episodes ago, where I was like, what quarterback would I want? I want CJ because of this reason. That was who I saw. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, I hear you. I'm gonna take what you say. You know, but just from what I've read and heard,
Yeah.
like I saw he was surgical on all levels of the field. You know, from my point of view, accuracy was on point. Stock has to rise after that, right?
I would think so.
If he had one of the better days out of all the quarterbacks, I would think his stock rose. You know, there are CJ Stroud doubters out there. There's people who don't like Ohio State quarterbacks in general just because they're not successful in the NFL. And like you said earlier, you know, even though he was surgical at all levels, you know, a lot of people will say these quarterbacks can throw to a wide open receiver with no pressure, throw in the air, basically. But the thing is, like, every other quarterback wasn't doing what he was doing yesterday, like on a consistent basis, like he was. Like,
yeah, no, you're right, because Max Duggan is a perfect example of that person.
Yo, chill.
I don't know what he was doing, but
yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's film on these guys, but each of them yesterday were put in the same environment, run the same drills. It's a controlled experiment almost. So Stroud, in my opinion, did the best throwing in that experiment. I'm not saying he's the clear number one pick, overall now, but you got to admit he made a case for it yesterday. So, but talk about Max Duggan for
Well,
me.
before I talk about Max, I just want to highlight what you were just saying though. Like you said, he definitely made a case for him to be number one. He's making that case for him to be better and the safe pick. He made himself that safe pick that this is what we want. So I think that yes, in a team setting where they may not have the run game like we do with the JT, where they may not have a lot of pieces to the puzzle, then yes, you're gonna want that CJ Stroud because he's gonna bring that extra energy you need and that comfort level, I think, around his offensive players to where he can elevate them some versus Anthony Richardson, as you talked about, especially in our last episode, or say the episode before last, that was Hendon Hooker. But when you talked about AR, how he could be lethal in that run game with a guy like JT beside him, where that experiment is good because he has a safety net, he has a cushion, and that floor can just, it is set for him. So yes, I do think that household name, that all-star QB that you want, with less Bryce Young since he didn't throw, CJ Stroud is that guy based off of what he did. But if you are any bit of a risk taker than Anthony Richardson, he definitely proved his point of why you will want to, you want to play roulette with that.
All right.
But yeah, Max Duggan. Oh man. It wasn't his hottest day. I'm not gonna hate him because I ain't a quarterback trying to get to the NFL. You know what I mean? I know he can still all throw me any day of the week. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like
why they got obliterated by Georgia boy. I don't know. Quinn Johnston got to be mad. He had Max Duggan thrown to him for all his college career. Look, Max Duggan did not have a great day. I saw throws where,
the receivers were running just like they were doing like their drills, not even quarterback drills yet. And he was throwing on the ground, above them, behind them,
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. I'm like, oh, they're 2 yards in front of you. Like, they're running their line drill. Get him the rock. He was all over the place.
Whoever drafts Max Duggan. Oh my goodness. I don't know if he completed a pass. That's all right, let me chill out. But I pray for whoever drafts him.
Yeah, it started off nice for him too because he ran with that 4.5 something 40. So I was like, all right, this is looking good. And then it was all downhill from there.
What did you think about Will Levis?
Will Levis. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, when I first saw him on the field, I was like, dang, this is a big dude. I mean, he looked good with the group he was out there with. Him, Stanton, and all those Stetson Bennett. He looked good. He definitely showed that he had that arm strength that was there. However, his accuracy wasn't the hottest. I felt like he to me, he didn't showcase, like, he was, in all honesty, he is what I thought Anthony Richardson would have been based off of like film. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah,
that's where I would flip him because like I said to myself, I said Will's gonna be that guy to come in here with a chip and show why he should be, the number 3 quarterback picked. And I felt like that wasn't the case for him. He was there. Like I said, he just wasn't consistent for me. The best thing about him was just seeing him float that deep ball. I mean, he just launched it 55 yards, 0 problem.
He's got a cannon.
He's got a cannon, yeah, and that was made evident, But his ball speed was pretty nice as well. But overall, I just wasn't honestly that impressed with him. I just don't think that he showcased anything special. If anything, I think it may have hurt his stock.
So he's probably, for us, he's sitting at the number 4 overall quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like that's going to change, but we'll see, I didn't see anything, super great from him, from what I saw. But yeah, I just wanted to know because it seems like AR, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, that's the top 3 right now. And no order right now.
Sure.
But if you had to pick, I think those go top 3. Stetson Bennett, you mentioned, had a pretty good day though.
Yeah, he did.
Bennett threw well.
He did throw well. Yeah, he seemed real confident in his stuff. I mean, everything he did was just he was consistent, and that's what was key. He was consistent. I definitely think he'll be that guy to go into a team where they're not going to need a lot of finesse from the quarterback, but he's going to be that guy to be able to get the ball where it needs to be and just be like to do his job, do his job and do it well.
Game manager.
Yeah, game manager. There you go. Yeah, a little field general for him. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather Stetson Bennett gets a lot of hate, but
Yeah.
I think he had a pretty good day yesterday and way better than Max Dugan. But yeah, I think quarterbacks, that was fun. That was really fun. I know with the wide receivers, they were talking about they didn't look too fast. Like Jalen Hyatt should have been faster, it seemed like. Jordan Addison was in the 4.5s, but again, speed isn't the most important factor. It's route running comes into play there. But for us Colts Nation, Colts fans, the quarterbacks, I mean, I think that was a good showing. I think AR fans were jumping out their seats. I think he looked really good. Stock went up. CJ Stroud, I thought, looked really good. Stock went up. So, I think we got a clear top 3, and I think we got to make a decision in the next month or so. But look, that was fun. That was some exciting performances.
It was. It was a lot of fun, and I think that we're in the best position right now to where if we lose one, it's all right. We got 2 more to fall back on.
Oh, so we're sitting at 4?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just all right. Fine. Let me say if we were to stay at 4, it's okay if we lose one because we got 2 others.
But we're trading up. What are we doing?
Hey, man. Hey, I don't honestly, dog. I don't know because if we trade up, I don't know because I really like what I saw with AR. I'm biased towards him, and I know I'm biased towards the CJ Stroud thing because I don't like Ohio State. I'll be the first person to tell you that I don't like Ohio State, but I can appreciate a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. So I am biased with my CJ Stroud review versus than what some of the reports you've read. So I say that because I don't know. I don't mind if we were to take that jump and then try to get an AR and really develop him even more just because he's a freak of nature. And that was just so exciting to see because I feel like we've had such bland play the past couple of years and so many hiccups. It's just like when you see explosive and electrifying type style play, it gets you excited. But I could say the same thing about CJ. I can sit here and say, I know that CJ is going to bring it to the table where he's going to be able to put that thing on a rope to MPJ or Alec Pierce, who's there, or he's going to be able to take off and run when we need him to. So I do think we're in a great position quarterback-wise, not draft spot-wise, but quarterback-wise. We're in a great situation to be in.
Look, if Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, Jim Irsay, whoever has their hands in the pot, really believe that A1 guy out of all the 4 is that guy, you got to trade up and go get him. You can't take the risk of the Texans, who are in your division, getting that guy that you believe is that guy. So if they don't see that guy, sure, maybe not trade up. If they really view these prospects as not that great, sure, don't trade up. But if you have any feeling about one of these quarterbacks more than any of the others, it's time to trade up with the Bears. Take that number 1 overall. It's basically to secure your quarterback who you believe can be the franchise quarterback, and that's all I'll say to that.
That's fair. I'm excited for the next couple of weeks to start getting more information on these guys and start making some predictions for April because it's right around the corner.
It's going to be great. It really is. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. I'll take care.
Yeah, enjoy it.